morning, everybody. Let's get started.
What do you need to see from your team through OTAs?
Stay healthy. We're still look this next phase is it's good to be able to do a little competition and compete against each other, but within the rules, it's we got to make sure we protect each other. You just don't want any injuries. We're still teaching and learning and developing and all of that. So. I don't really go into it with a lot of depth charts in mind. We're trying to get everybody opportunity to put them on film and see what we do have.
I'm looking ahead to training camp. Do you have any joint practices planned?
Tampa Bay, week 2. Yeah.
Are there any changes here?
Yes, here.
Are there any changes this year because of the new defensive coaching staff to the OTAs? Are you changing anything up, or kind of just same old?
No, same schedule. You're within a 6-hour window. So we try to cram a lot into those 6 hours.
How has Christian looked? I know at the tail end of the season he was working his way back, and he probably would have come back in playoffs. But how has he looked?
He looks healthy. He looks strong. Hasn't been any no setbacks with him. So he's right on track, doing everything. He looks really good.
And how important is a guy like him, where this is his third year in the system? He's kind of the veteran guy in the system at this point. How important is he in that room?
It's huge. Veteran leadership in every room is key, and especially in that one because we do have some young players in there.
What do you want to see out of Travis Etienne this year? I know last year you guys wanted to kind of reduce the workload a little bit. It didn't work out that way maybe as well as you hoped. Is that sort of the plan again for this year for him?
Yeah, it's hard to put necessarily a rep count on it, but we you do want to keep him as healthy as you can throughout the season, and that's why we've talked about this too as a staff and myself, making sure Tank gets opportunities to get out there and take some of the pounding off of Travis. But again, just taking another step. He's really year 3 with us in the offense, and just seeing his growth. I think there's more out there that he can get yard wise, and definitely be an emphasis, utilizing him more so in the run game, and making sure that those yards that are there, that we're doing the right things, we're hitting the right holes, we're anticipating defenders and blocking schemes and all that kind of stuff, and then being able to take the wear and tear off them with Tank.
What have you learned about the professionalism of Mitch Morse so far? I know you can't see much on the field, but just how he...
Yeah, just again, a veteran leader. Someone brings a lot of experience to that position and to that group. Been really good with Luke. Those two have been, working extremely close, obviously, and Mitch has been a great resource for Luke, and it's been good, and that's what you want to see out of veteran players. Same with Brandon Sheriff. He's another one with some of the young offensive linemen that we do have.
I know you don't want your bye when you come back from London, but week 12 with that schedule, is that a little bit further out than you probably prefer?
Well, maybe by a week or two, but it's in a good position. Other than the one, the Monday night game, all Sunday games, and you get into a rhythm and a flow that way. But somewhere in there, you do like the Thursday. Even though we don't have one, you like that Thursday. It's kind of a mini bye, in there. But look, it's a great schedule for us, and looking forward to competing and seeing what happens.
Did Cooper accomplish what you wanted him to in this, what amounts to a redshirt season? And is he,
Cooper Hodges?
yes, and is his health where you want it to be right now?
Yeah, his health is good. He's got to continue to get stronger, as we know, but he's doing some great things out there. This next phase will be critical. And again, it's not necessarily not so much the physicality of phase 3, but just the mental part of phase 3, right? And just understanding, our offense again, and getting back in it, and so he's in a good spot, but we got to continue to see, the growth with him.
From where he was a year ago to where he was 6-7 months ago, Devon Hamilton, how would you evaluate the last 12 months?
much different, more like 22 than 23 with him. The old Devon, is back, and he's got great energy out there through phase 2, through phase 1 and 2. He's excited to be back on the field. I think he's excited for his health, as well. I mean, we all know that was a scary deal that he went through, and but he's really worked hard. He's worked hard to put himself in this position, and just look again for great things, and for him to get back to his old self he was a couple years ago.
Emotionally for you, for his teammates, what is it like seeing him back to 22 Devon on the field?
I mean, it's great. For me, it's great to just see him out there and smiling and being around his teammates. And, he's one of those, just a great leader in that room, but I think more so on the team as well. He's a guy that doesn't say a whole lot, but he does it more through example and how he works. And that's what's good to see right now with him back on the field.
When can you start to get an idea if the guys from the 23 draft class are ready to take that kind of next step forward in their careers?
Well, they're going to get an opportunity, now through phase 3, and again through training camp, but, some of those guys did some good things this past year, for us, and we got to continue the growth and development, and each year is like starting over. The competition starts over and everything else, and that really, I think, starts here in the next, really these next 3.5 weeks or so.
Head coach, as a head coach, do you feel like it's a big deal for you or important for you that Trevor gets his contract situation resolved before the start of this year, or does it really matter? It's just part of the business of just being an NFL team.
I think it's part of the business, but I mean, I think, obviously the sooner you get it done, right, it's behind everybody, and now we focus on football, and so that's not lingering and that's not out there. I know Trent and his agent, excuse me, they've continued to talk and will talk, and they're working hard and tirelessly, and I just gotta coach Trevor and coach football, and hopefully it gets done, and it will.
Does London matter to you, home and away, first, second? Did you look at it and go?
I mean, it's London, right? I mean, we're away, so it's obviously taking a game away from here, from Jacksonville, but we do have a great fan base there, and so it does feel like a home game, when you're at Wembley. But as far as when we play, it doesn't matter.
You won't get to stay at the same place for all 2 weeks.
I think we are this year. I think we are, yeah.
That
makes a difference. We don't have to move. Yeah.
I know he's entering his third season in the system. What is your expectation for Trevor just this time of year?
Well, this time of year, obviously the leadership, veteran guys that, they're going to look up to him. How well he, incorporates some of the young players that we do have, that we're working with and developing, and obviously, Brian being one of them now, and, working with Mitch, working with Luke, all these guys getting time with Gabe, and, just getting comfortable there. But I think the leadership part of leading this football team, right, and really, embracing that, I think this time of year, and that carries over to camp.
How did Brian look first week? Obviously, I know it wasn't full go last week, but first week with the rest of the veterans.
He's looked good. Really a smart guy. He's picked up, the things that we've introduced to him. He's picked it up well. He's been able to retain it and recall it, and looks smooth on the field. And we're going to continue to work. And there's some things we got to, work with that he didn't see in college defensively that he's going to see here in the NFL. And so we'll continue to work with him on that. But just again, it's just the amount of time he and Trevor have, throwing, and Gabe. I think Gabe's in that same boat. They all got to get on the same page.
Is he still limited?
Yes. Yes.
How many guys do you have?
And Gabe had a child over the weekend, so he'll be out today and tomorrow. He's still dealing with that.
How many guys do you have in that boat who aren't going to be able to give you? You're going to hold back.
Yeah, I mean, we got, obviously we had the guys that had the surgeries at the end of the season. So, Andre Sisco had the shoulder, Anton, C.J. Beathard, but he'll be fine to do. We don't hit the quarterback, so he'll be fine to do everything. Lorenzo, the running back, the new running back, he's another one that's limited with his shoulder coming out of college. Gabe's another one that's going to be limited, but you'll see them today. They'll be in an orange or a red jersey, and we just got to limit the contact. We just don't want any setbacks this time of year.
For a few months, any impressions of Ryan Nielsen yet?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, he's outstanding job with the staff defensively, just getting those guys prepared and introducing his scheme and his philosophy to the defense, and then preparing the players. What I've seen, during phase 2, there's a lot of teaching and coaching going on that these guys need, and I think just the way he approaches each day, as a learning opportunity and a teaching, moment. And I'll tell you this, now he loves mixing it up with the players. He'll get in there and demonstrate an individual drill, or fall on a loose ball, fumble, or whatever it might be. He doesn't mind getting dirty. So that's pretty cool.
Off season as Devin Lloyd had, and what's the next step for him going into year 3?
I think Devin's had a really good off season. Obviously year 3, new system. So how fast and can he learn it? But I think too, seeing himself on film, just continuing to get better and improving. You're seeing that out of him, and the challenge for all those guys really on defense is just the terminology and just picking up a new scheme. And Devin has done a nice job in phase 2. What I've seen, just watching him out there and talking to Matt House and listening to him talk, and Devin's in a good place.
What's Josh Allen's plan in terms of getting himself ready? Is he here, or is he doing kind of more what he did last year?
More of what he's done, trains out in Arizona, and he was here for the first couple of weeks, which was great to have him around his teammates, and the one thing that I don't worry about, Josh knows Josh, and he knows how to get himself prepared and ready, and he always comes back in shape and ready to go. So he's done it, and it's time for it's a time for him to really get healthy and fresh and be ready to go.
What's the plan for Walker Little going into this year? Is he strictly swing tackle? Is he your right tackle? Is he?
No, I think he's got a great opportunity, to compete, and see where we're at. I mean, it's we're blessed to have 3 tackles like we do, and of course Blake Hance can play, and the guys that have filled in last year for us did a great job. But I think in Walker's case, it's a great opportunity to really compete and challenge and push, and that's the kind of the message to the guys is you can't get comfortable if you feel like you're a starter. You can't get comfortable because there's another guy that's pushing you. So again, depth charts don't matter this time of year as much as continuing to improve.
Do you expect Javon Foster to just be a tackle, or will he play some guard as well, potentially?
For right now, with the numbers we have, keep him one position, let him learn that, and then progress slowly as we go.
Okay. Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, Doug.
Coach Nielsen will be in
Thanks,
here in a
guys.
moment.
Okay, here we go.
All right, fire away.
Yeah,
Early impressions of Tyson Campbell.
good. Good.
What
Yeah.
did you like about his game?
No, we're excited about him. Heck of an athlete. Like, there's nothing he can't do athletically. He's a really a smart player. Picked the stuff up. Guy's done a great job teaching him and fundamentals, technique, and then how he can operate within the scheme. Obviously, we haven't played any plays yet, so it's not so it's still today's day 1. So we'll go out and we'll evaluate him again. But we're excited about him.
How quickly can you tell if the classroom work is carrying out to the field the way it needs to?
We'll find out today. Like that'll be huge, and we'll evaluate where we're at with it. We've kept it, base installations and things that we've done so far, and give the guys an opportunity to line, assign, get their eyes right, and then respond once the ball is snapped. So there's some things that we're focused on today. Obviously, there's no pads, so it's hard to evaluate in terms of making plays and things like that. But we want the guys pre-snap, down in stances, communication, things like that, important things in the game that we can really practice. And then, we're not getting around the quarterback. We're not, making tackles and things like that. So we want to be in a good football position. We want to make it look like football, be in the right spots, and evaluate from there, and then have really a good opportunity to grow every day. That's what we're looking for, grow in all those areas.
Ryan, you may not be able to evaluate this until August, but in terms of Ventrell Miller, have you been around him enough to be able to have an opinion of if he stays healthy and if he progresses, what kind of contribution he can make?
So yes, but I think that it's universal. It's the whole defense. It's every player. That's kind of where we're at right now. We told the guys this morning, there's no depth chart. You're going to get your reps out there, and so for Ventrell, it's what he does with his opportunity, and that's going to be what's important. And so what are we looking for? Just like we talked about, the pre-snap, the stance, the communication, the adjustments. But again, we don't have pads on, and so we'll evaluate as much as we possibly can. And no one's making the team today. That's not what we're out there. We want to just get better as a unit, individually, position groups, things like that, and then get everybody as good as we possibly can going into camp when the pads get put on, preseason games, and this is a long process, with him. And so, but so far so good.
Do you like what you're hearing and seeing in your communication with him and your meetings with him?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
What are your impressions of Devin Lloyd so far? I know obviously nothing really on the field in terms of full contact. We're just getting to know him, his kind of mindset and interaction this year.
John, how's married life? Yeah,
Early.
you making it?
Yes, sir.
All right.
As far as I know, days
Good
ago.
for you, man. Because last time you hadn't been married yet.
Yes,
So,
sir.
yeah, all good. Excited about our linebacker group. They've done a really good job communicating. We've got some really good leadership in that position. Really important is we haven't aligned just a couple times against the offense, and so we've done a lot of self work together, and just their communication part, how they're handling it, and him as well. Break the huddle, get guys in line, making the proper calls. It's been good, So today will be another good test because we're actually going to be able to respond post snap, And so we'll take that evaluation. But excited about the player. He's doing a really good job. Here's a guy that loves football. I mean, he's around all the time. Like he can't get enough of it. And so as a coach, you're like, all right, this is awesome. And so we'll take today, and then we'll work on tomorrow.
How would you identify what position, Ryan, that Devin and Yasir play in your scheme?
Again, they're linebackers, and where we play them and where we put them is it's this part of the year, and then up in first couple weeks in camp, we have an idea. We have a really good idea, but we're still in that process of moving guys around. The more you can do, and I think you can play a lot of years in this league if you can do more jobs. And so we don't want to just pigeonhole guys right now and, hey, this is this. Now, there are certain guys on our defense that, are going to play a certain position. Devon Hamilton, he's going to play defensive tackle. We know that, right? But some of these guys that can play 2 or 3 positions, we're going to put them at these different positions in these OTAs. It's a great opportunity to see what guys can do. And then as we see their job and if they can do certain jobs, and we'll start to fine-tune the package and more for their skill set. But look, we're going to be on the ball and off the ball at the linebacker position. And so you'll see them if you're out there today. They'll be moving around. Mike, Will, Sam, all over the place. So it'll be a good evaluation. I'm excited. I really am excited about, and I think our staff is really excited about that position group, and because we've got a lot of good players in our defense, but guys can do a lot of different jobs.
Were you sort of the same way with the secondary in terms of putting pieces together that those guys would be on?
Yeah. Yes. Our staff is here's kind of where we're at with it is the depth chart. There's none right now. So you're going to see a bunch of different combinations when you're out there because we want to see guys line up safety, corner, nickel. Like we want to see them line up at all these different positions and give everybody an opportunity as we go through the OTA practices. It's really important. See the growth, what they can handle. playing different alignments and techniques and positions, pressure, blitzing, covering, fitting the run game, things like that. And so in the secondary, we've got really good depth. And we'll see how it goes out there. But really, play 1 today and play 8 is going to be a totally different group of guys out there in team period 1 and just so we want to see what the guys can do. And that's what this part of the year is see how much they can handle their alignments, assignments, some of the techniques that they're using. And we're excited. I mean, it's awesome. It's day 1, and it goes by fast, but guys have done a really good job up until this point.
Ryan, in terms of evaluating Mason Smith and Jordan Jefferson, how important were your ties to Coach Ogeron and Jenkins and getting a good sense of what those 2 guys can do in your scheme?
Sure, there's some phone calls being made to those guys for sure. Look, everything that they said was exactly who these guys are in terms of character, type of people that they are. They love football, really good guys, practice hard. I mean, they're out there going as hard as they possibly can. We're excited about them. So the future is bright for those guys. Yeah.
Kind of building on the secondary point, Darnell Savage, is he a guy that you guys see as a versatile weapon? He could be used as a nickel, as a safety. How do you evaluate him so far?
Yeah, just like you said, like he's aligning at nickel, at safety, in a pinch. I mean, he can run, and so we can put him in some man coverage situations. So he's a great guy to have. Really happy that our front office and Trent, those guys, they brought him in. The guy's been fantastic in terms of just being around, learning the system. Where does he fit in? And so today, he's he'll be all over the place, which is fun, and so really looking forward to getting out there with him and see where he's at and going from there.
How much of that did he do in Green Bay, and were you able to get anything from that tape in terms of his versatility?
Yeah, we looked at the athlete, the type of player that he was, and then the positions that he was playing. But a little bit different system, but felt that he can really fit what we're doing here and have success.
When we spoke to Josh after he got his contract extension, he specifically mentioned that in conversations with you, he knows the best player has to line up both inside and outside. He has to line up against a guard sometimes. If you could just elaborate on why that's important in your philosophical perspective.
Yeah, it's just matchups. Like, it's a matchup game, right? And so we want to have the best matchups for our guys to have success. And so we'll manipulate the front and coverage and things that we're doing to put our guys in the best matchups for them, and then ultimately play our best defense and win games. And so it'll always be designed around winning, and then a lot of that is football's a lot of it is a one-on-one game, And so during pass rush and things like that, we want him to be. And the other thing that is, we don't want him just to be on the right side, and they know he's right here all the time, and they can chip or put a tight end to his side and take what he does away. We've got to beat 2 guys to get to the quarterback. And so if we move him, it makes it a little bit harder for an offense to find out and identify where he's at every snap.
How intriguing is it as a coach, even at this level, to see a guy like Miles Cole with all that, measurables,
Sure.
but hasn't really done on the field, but maybe be a little bit of a project kind of guy and be able to mold him a little bit?
Yeah, when you grind the tape on him, there are some things that really, like, he's made some plays now. You got to grind through it a little bit and find out. But we're excited about him, the measurables and things like that. But what he was doing on his tape is very similar to the type of the defensive end position that we like, And so when you take that measurables and some of the things on the tape, and yep, he's a young guy that has got to learn, just like all the rookies. But we're excited about his growth, and he's been a really good in terms of putting the extra time in right now in the rookie. He's been and he's done a good job in being in the right spots on the field. And so today's his first day against the NFL offensive lineman, so we'll see.
You call that a big end? What do you call that spot?
Just defensive end. Yeah, we can move guys all around. Sometimes you're going to see 3 ends. There's so many multiple things that you can do with guys like that. You never can have enough good players, right? And so take all those guys and like we're talking about the matchups and who's got the best matchups in terms of the offensive line, third down, things like that. So, yeah.
Ethan or Trent, but one of them said you banged the table for Miles. If you
Yeah.
could kind of give us the backstory of how you came to find him.
Well, really, Mario Gabriel and Bill Shuey had him in their set, and those guys actually came and said, hey, let's take a look at this guy. So the credit goes to them. Those are the guys that really get the credit. And we started watching the tape and we're like, you know what, this guy's got a chance now. Like, he's measurable, you know, we like that type, and then he can run. He's a really good athlete for a guy that big. And so, but yeah, those guys, Bill and Mario, they're the one that did it, and we just, you know, I'm like, yeah, I see it. Like, and so you're fired up, and we had a conversation about it, but yeah, they did a good job finding them.
Number one more.
About Travis Gibson coming in here to compete for some reps behind Josh and Trayvon.
Yeah. Experience. He has history with Coach Shuey. And so Coach Shuey was real big on bringing him, hey, take a look at this guy, and I have some history with him. Within what we do, he fits the mold. Haven't played a play yet, but excited about what we've seen on the tape. He's a tireless worker, intelligent player. I think he's got a bright future. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, have a great day. Thank you.